What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Me too. BetOnline.ag.
Join today and receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
All right, this is the CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting here with Brianna Peer of Fangirl Sports Network, Patriots fangirl from
That's me.
Fangirl Sports Network. Brianna, again, thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Of course.
And per usual, Marv is on.
Come on, man. Say that with a little more enthusiasm.
And per usual, we got Marv is on the show. No Mike Molyneux. All right, the physically unable to perform list came out for the Patriots to start training camp, or I guess it came out earlier this week. Sony Michel on that physically unable to perform list. And I don't know if it would necessarily be a massive story, but it is now because the report was at OTAs when he missed all of OTAs, at minicamp when he missed mandatory minicamp, when he had that knee scope. The report was that he would be ready. The idea was, because it's a minor procedure, that he would be ready for training camp, the start of training camp. Clearly, he's not ready. So it's a pretty straightforward question here. Do you have any concern with this? Are you now worried about Sony Michel, not only for this season, but for years to come? Remember, first round draft pick from last year's draft. Marv, we'll start with you.
Nick, what I try to tell you about Sony Michel, you have your high stock on him. I know he's
formerly known as Sony Michael.
I know he's on your fantasy team. You came at me because I wanted James White over him, but this is a problem now. You know, at first we could have been cute about it, tried to ignore it. Oh, it's a nice knee scope. You're going into training camp. We know knee scopes do not take 2 months to recover from, and he's still on the PUP list. You know, everyone's saying the right things, but I'm not trying to compare it to Malcolm Mitchell, but doesn't it kind of remind you of it a little bit? A star in the making comes into training camp and he's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna, sideline him for a little bit. Oh, he's okay, until boom, he's out the league, he's retired. Not saying it's the same thing, but the way the media's come out with Sony Michel's news and we still haven't seen any progression, it's very weird, and we need to start being concerned by Sony Michel. And we should have been concerned when they drafted Damian Harris. Once they got Harris, that should have put a light bulb in everyone's head like, whoa, they're getting a third round running back to add to this team. Something's not right with Sony. I mean, I'm wishing him the best. I hope maybe next week he comes in, he's practicing, and this is no longer a story. But for right now, this is something we need to start talking about.
Yeah, I mean, bringing up Malcolm Mitchell's a tough discussion because I was excited as
hell
for
man.
that guy.
I loved him.
He looked like he was going to be a stud. One of the best passes I've ever seen Tom Brady throw was that beeline throw that he threw over a defender to Malcolm Mitchell against the 49ers. It was one of the best throws I've seen from him. And he's thrown a lot, so that's tough. And I know people are going to be upset about that. Oh, that's your bet. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Guys, the Red Sox have the Yankees coming to town for a 4-game set starting this Thursday. Feel like the Red Sox are either going to get smoked and fall back further in the standings by the Yankees, who are terrifying, or are they going to gain some ground on the Yankees? Either way, is your confidence high, willing to place a wager, don't know where to start? There's only one place to get in on all the action. Grab the odds and allow the experts at betonline.ag to do the heavy lifting for you. Sports, live betting, virtual casino, you name it. Betonline.ag is CLNS Media's preferred sportsbook online. If you're feeling lucky and would like to support our podcast /video, go to clnsmedia.com/PatsRT and use promo code CLNS50 for that 50% sign-up bonus. That is CLNS50. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. Go online or use your mobile phone to sign up today at betonline.ag and try in-game live betting, where you can participate with all the action with every single play. Use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% sign-up bonus. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. All right, Brianna, are you worried about Sony Michel?
Yeah, I am. I was trying to convince myself that it's really not that big of a deal because I have knee problems and I know how hard it is to come back in a certain amount of time and whatever.
You think of knee problems, you think Brianna, Sony Michel, Dustin Pedroia.
It's the exact same. We're all on the same level. No, but I mean, if he's not back by next week, then it's a major problem. I think if he just misses the first couple of practices and, whatever, and then he comes back and we'll see what happens. But Marv bringing up Malcolm Mitchell, that's that kind of, it makes so much sense, and it stinks so bad because Sony's so good and Malcolm Mitchell was so good, and it just, if he's going down that same road, it would just be, first of all, Belichick would never hear the end of it drafting a running back in the first round just for that to happen, because you imagine the storm that he would get. Yeah, I mean, I'm giving it the week just to be calm about it, and then once the next session of camp starts, then if he's not back, then I'm gonna start raising some pretty major red flags.
Yeah, and you're right about when it comes to him drafting him in the first round, because it's not like he drafted a guy who was completely healthy in the first round.
Right.
He came out of college, and that was one of the knocks on him was, hey, careful, this guy's got some chronic knee issues. I mean, right behind Isaiah Wynn, who blew out his Achilles. So, I mean, that first round has been awesome so far. And, you know, I've said it on the show before, I've got some stock in Sony Michel with my keeper for fantasy football this year. So I'm really praying and hoping. But no, if you're not worried at this point, you're not paying attention to Sony Michel. The guy was a stud last year. 931 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns in 13 regular seasons. That's okay. I mean, pretty good. Then 336 yards and 6 touchdowns in the postseason. He was awesome. You have to be worried about him at this point. Even though you drafted Damian Harris, he's a rookie. You really don't know how he's going to be. You still got James White. Marv, that's your guy. Speaking of, side note, I saw James White on TV today. I did not realize how tiny his neck was. He looks like he has a very short neck.
Oh my God.
What is that? What are you talking about, Nick?
Hey, look at his neck next time. It's not a knock. He's a handsome guy. I'm just saying he's got a tiny neck. He's got a big, thick, short neck. Anyway, Sony Michel, he came out of college with those chronic knee issues. So when he's got these knee problems, like, you can't be shocked about it. Right? Like, this is almost what you expected. It's, you know, the Red Sox are kind of going through the same thing right now. Like, they just signed Nathan Eovaldi to a 4-year contract. The guy's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, and then he goes down on, what was it? The original diagnosis was like 4 to 6 weeks. He ends up out for over 60 days. So with these types of things, yeah, if he goes down, again, going back to Brianna's point, if he goes down and he really turns into a bust because of these knee issues, Belichick's going to catch some heat for that, because, again, it's not like it was just a surprise. This was it. People were like, this guy's got knee issues, and Belichick was like, get him, bring him in anyway. I mean, he was great. He was awesome to watch. I really hope he is fine. But, I mean, at this point, the PUP, when you see people go on that list,
right, it's a punch in the stomach. And Belichick has done this before with the first round. You guys remember Dominique Easley, another first rounder who had injury problems, and he ended up being nothing. At least Sony Michel gave us a year and won a Super Bowl ring with us. So like Brianna said, let's just wait it out for another week and see what happens.
I need him. I made so many trades last year to get him, making my keeper. This is really going to suck.
I just think with Belichick saying today that, like, tomorrow and Friday are just going to be an extension of minicamp, I think that obviously buys him some more time, but it makes it seem like if he's not there, it's really not that big of a deal, because, I mean, OTAs, he missed them. Okay, fine. That's just keeping it in shape and getting you ready. But had they started pads right away on Friday, then I would say, okay, we've got a little bit of an issue here that we need to figure out.
Yeah, he definitely covered himself today. He gave himself more time, but I mean, either way, if you're paying attention to the situation, the scariest part to me is that they said, or the report was, that he should be good to go by training camp. And look at that, we're here at training camp.
PUP.
And he's and PUP list, the PUP list. Not good. Certainly not great. All right, this was another CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Again, Nick Qualley, Marv is on, and then we're joined again by Brianna Peer, Patriots fangirl from Fangirl Sports Networks. As people have noticed on the show, I'm horrible with last names, but I made sure I was going to hit that one. Brianna Peer, Patriots fangirl from Fangirl Sports Network. Nick Qualia, Marv is on, Brianna. Guys, we will talk to you next week at some point. We're probably going to have Brianna back on, so you see Brianna. Mike should be back next week as well. CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Again, Nick Qualia, Marv is on, and Brianna Peer. We will be back next week. Thanks for watching.